Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. The Black Financial Channel is a place where we talk about economic issues from a Black perspective, and we talk about it every day, all day, because it's important for Black people to be economically intelligent. Today, I want to talk about the stimulus. I'm going to talk about stimulus talks, stimulus packages, and why I don't believe that you're going to get a stimulus check anytime soon. And if you do, it's going to be very small. It's not going to be anything that's going to really change your life. It's largely because your politicians are ridiculous. Not just ridiculous, but they're crazy and stupid. So buckle up your seatbelt, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and we're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor, and today we want to talk about stimulus checks. And I also want to make sure I say hello to my family. Davion, how you doing, man? Good morning to you, and you are welcome. King James, Uma, Supreme Shabazz, Sherman LeBlanc, Jimmy P, Daniel Buffett, Linda Collins, Tyrone Hayes. I see you all are B1. Put your hashtag B1 in the chat. Hashtag B1 means that we're Black first. We put our community before we put anybody else out there. We save ourselves before we save anybody else. If you agree with that philosophy, put hashtag B1 in the chat. Also, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to whatever channel you're on. Please share this video and also hit the notification bell follow button so that we can stay connected because we are building Black media. That's very important, building Black media. All right, so let's get started here. So the stimulus checks, a lot of you have asked me about stimulus checks, and I thought I would kind of break some of that down for you and give you just an honest assessment. Honesty is the best policy, and if I were to be honest with you, I would tell you that when I analyze our politicians and I analyze what's going on in Washington, and I analyze what people are doing, the ones who are supposed to cut the check are actually doing, I just see a bunch of chaos. I don't see a check coming anytime soon. When the check arrives, it might be enough to pay your car note and buy your groceries for 2 weeks, but it's not going to be enough to really get you over the hump. Uh, your politicians have given up on you, but they haven't given up on taking care of themselves and taking care of their own agendas, even at the expense of the American people. Your politicians are not your friends. Your politicians are not looking out for you. Your politicians are not doing what they can to make sure that you're good. They just don't care. They really don't care. And so one of the things I'm going to say to you guys is that in this economy, stimulus checks just aren't going to do much of anything. And what I'm going to do is basically explain to you why stimulus checks are probably not coming. Why I don't believe that the stimulus bill is going to get passed anytime soon. And when it does, what happens is that the bulk of the benefits of the bill go to people who don't look like you. They don't go to Black people. They don't go to poor people. They don't go to working class people. They go to wealthy people. They go to corporations. They go to people, to politicians that have an agenda and their pet projects. And that's one of the failings of America. That's why America's system, I would say capitalism, is going to destroy America because we know capitalism, the way it's practiced in America, is not very healthy. But it's deeper than capitalism. It's really human nature. It's really selfishness. It's really bad governance. It's bad infrastructure politically. And so let me explain. So I was reading an article this morning. I read from different sources, and I'm gonna switch my screen. Give me a yes real quick. Give me a yes if you can still hear me as I switch my screen, because sometimes when I switch my screen, I lose you guys. So give me a yes or no. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. That way I can know I need to go back to my screen and make sure that you guys are still up there. Yesterday I lost you. I felt kind of bad about that. I apologize for that. If that ever happens, just be patient. That means I messed up. I hit the wrong button, but I'm gonna come right back. All right. So basically, there's a term corporate socialists. Corporate socialists, and and the corporate socialists, which is this term that's being used, which I think is actually quite a solid term. It really reflects the hypocrisy of people on the right. Now, there's hypocrisy of people on the left and people on the right. People on the left can only see hypocrisy of the people on the right. Like they'll say, "Oh, you claim to be capitalist, but you always want corporate bailouts, which makes you a socialist, right?" But the people on the right, they can only see the hypocrisy of the people on the left. The people on the left, they claim to advocate for the poor, but yet you're starving people out of their job over a virus that that 99.9% of us are going to survive. It doesn't mean the virus is not real. It just means that you're making 100% of the population suffer over something that 99.9% of that population is going to survive. But what's the point of surviving if you get evicted from your house and have to live on the street? What's the point of surviving if you're so depressed that you want to kill yourself? What's the point of surviving if your family's now torn apart because people haven't seen their grandkids for 7 months, and they're fighting each other over this Democrat Republican nonsense? What's the point of surviving if you're going to end up surviving in misery? As politicians, wealthy politicians, by the way, pursue their own agenda. One of the things that's interesting. I live in a blue state. I live in Illinois, and the governor. I found it really interesting how the governor really made sure his own family was taken very good care of, as he was pretty much starving out the majority of the people in the state. He's telling small businesses to shut down. He's not saying like, okay, here's how we're going to safely reopen. Here's how we can safely allow you to feed your family. Here's how we can safely allow people to keep their jobs. He's basically saying shut down. And then they're saying, well, how are we going to eat? And he's basically saying, well, you'll find a way. We'll find a way. And I'm just sitting there thinking, that's not an answer. I don't understand that. You're giving me taxation without representation. You're claiming this authority over my life, but yet aren't doing what's necessary to make sure that I'm good. If you claim authority over me, then you must make sure that you support me. That you help me to get through this thing. If you don't help me get through this thing, don't get mad. I come up with my own solution. And that's the thing. You have the government. The government almost behaves a little bit like a broke baby daddy, or like these. You ever see a trifling dude who wants to control a woman's life, but he's never there for her on any level. Like when she needs help with the bills, he ain't there. When she gets sick and goes to the hospital, he don't care. When she's got a problem, needs somebody to talk to, he's too busy. But yeah, he still wants to control what's going on in their household. He wants to control what you do with the kids. He wants to tell you, well, who's that guy coming over your house? Well, they none of your damn business who comes over her house, because you're not claiming authority in your territory. You're not properly claiming that authority. You ain't around, so you have no say up in here. So the government is like that. The government is not around for the American people. The government's not there to support the American people, but yet the government really feels compelled to tell you that you have to shut everything down and just sit at home and just wait for them to come back around and decide that they're ready to now do something. And, I'm gonna just say it like this: I believe with these politicians like Lori Lightfoot, that lady, that crazy looking lady that runs Chicago. Well, her name's Lori Lightfoot, but we call her Gory Lightfoot, because she's just kind of this real ridiculous lady. She's got this white wife, and she just makes all these laws and rules that just don't make any sense. She's not for black people. It's not a black politician in office. She is just she is a white liberal who happens to have a black face. So Gory Lightfoot, Lori Lightfoot, whichever you want to call her, um, people like that, I believe that in the pandemic, they should be the first ones to have to give up their wealth. They should be the first ones to go without a salary. They should have their bank accounts confiscated, and they should not be allowed to pay their own bills. They can work. They can work remotely, but that's it. They can't. They should not be receiving a paycheck when the rest of the world is getting the middle finger. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. Also, don't forget the allblackagenda.com. That URL right there has resources that you can look at. Most of them are free, where you can actually apply these things to the Black agenda in your house. What I'm encouraging you to do is to think of your home as a government. Your home as a government is a sovereign territory for the most part, in the sense that you need to make the best decisions for your family. Like in my family, I'm not letting Dr. Fauci and CNN tell me, whether I can travel or not travel. I got a smart black woman next to me who's probably got more courage. She ain't got no real physical balls, but she got more balls than a lot of these weak ass men out here. And we decided through our own independent research that we were gonna still travel. We weren't gonna sit at home scared to death, waiting for further instructions. We said no. We're gonna travel. Our kids had their birthday parties. We still do a lot of the things we did before the pandemic, but we decide what measures we're going to take to make sure that we're safe. She ain't stupid. We ain't stupid. We go to the grocery store. She keeps the hand sanitizer on deck. We wear the mask. We walk into the store. We put the mask on when we walk in the store. We have a little bit of a bubble, a pandemic bubble, where we tell the kids, look, you got three friends you can hang out with. You can't go outside of that bubble. Is there a risk involved? Absolutely. But you know what? At the end of the day, we're not going to shut it all down. And the reason is because I went and did research. I went and found out that about 40-50% or more, probably more like 60-70% of the people that are dying from the virus are people who are senior citizens. If you took the 85-year-olds out of the total, it actually scratched it. Take out the 85-year-olds and the 75-year-olds, you really have nothing. It is a nothing burger. It is a complete nothing burger. Now, you already have 99.9% survival rate, but go look at the data. This is from the CDC. This is not bias. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not some right wing craziness. This is a black man who has claimed authority in my family. I am the president of the United States up in this piece, and that's it. And I said, as the president, I need to be a wise leader, and I'm going to work with the queen, and we're going to do the research to find out, are our kids in danger? Are we dealing with something that can be managed, or are we dealing with Ebola? Are we dealing with something that is going to kill a very small number of people, or are we dealing with something that could kill everybody? When I looked at the numbers, I can just tell you 99.9% of you are going to be fine. But 100% of you, or a large, maybe 70-80% of you, are going to be infected with a more dangerous virus, and that is the virus of fear. That virus is everywhere. Everybody's infected with that. About 100 million people are infected with the virus of fear. And what fear does is fear does not lead you to solve a problem. Fear leads you to become paralyzed by the problem. Fear does not lead you to maneuver around a tough situation. Fear leads you to sit there and be consumed by a situation. Fear does not lead you to become mentally strong enough to figure out a way to improve the lives of your family or to protect yourself. Fear kind of makes you obsessed with something that is relatively small until the point that you've made it into something massive and overwhelming, and something you obsess about every day. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised at some point if in the chat there's going to be some scared people coming in saying, "Oh my God, what you're saying is very dangerous. You're going to get people killed." No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because 99.9% of you are going to survive. Go find numbers to prove me wrong. Find numbers to prove me wrong. 99.9% of you are going to survive. And if you're under the age of 50, that means damn near 100% of you are going to be okay. If you go look at the CDC data on the numbers of people that have died in each age group, the big lump of people, the big mass occurs at 75 to 85 and 85 and up. So here's the deal. I'm not here to tell you what to think about the virus and any of that stuff. I'm here to just talk to you about what your family's agenda needs to be. I think your family's agenda needs to be one that is detached from what politicians are telling you to do. I think your family's agenda needs to be one where you take the time to assess the information without all the spin, without all the ridiculousness, without all their agendas entangled with your family agenda, and you figure it all out. I remember I told you guys a story when I was at University of Kentucky. I remember when I was 22 years old, 21, something like that, and I was riding my bike to work. I had a job at Arby's. This was back in my super broke days. I spent a lot of years being super broke, and I'm not broke anymore. But I spent a lot of years being broke, so that one day I would not have to be broke. And I remember during my super broke days, I had a job at Arby's, and I was on my bike, and at this time, this was back when Bill Clinton was getting elected as president, and it was a big deal. Everybody thought Bill Clinton was going to be the white Jesus. He was the original Joe Biden. He was the original Barack Obama. The same hope and change and nonsense that they feed you now, they fed us back then. Same scare tactics, same everything. Well, at that time, I was different. I was more of a Democrat, heavy Democrat, not a Democrat anymore, not a Republican. I'm more libertarian, but I'm not even 100% libertarian because I don't think that libertarianism always works in every situation. But here's the deal. So I'm on my bike and I'm thinking, okay, I got to vote today. They told us if you don't vote, you don't count. Voting is extremely important. Didn't quite understand exactly how my people would benefit from voting directly, but I was just told to do it, so I was going to do what I was told, which is pretty much what we do. We're very good at doing what we're told. So I got on my bike and I was headed to the polling station, which was on my way to my job at Arby's. The problem was this: I had to be at work by 4, and it was about 3:52. And I said, man, if I ride my bike as I can still get to Arby's by 4, and I need that job. If I don't show up to the job, I'm gonna get in trouble. I might lose my job. But I need to vote because I was told that it was my job to make sure I put this white man in office because this white man is going to be the savior for my community, right? Bill Clinton's going to make everything better for black people, right? Which didn't happen, right? He assisted Joe Biden in incarcerating more black men in the history of all of America. But but at that time we were taught to we still always voted against our interests. So here's what I thought in my little 21-year-old mind. I said, you know what? If I get fired from my job, Bill Clinton is not going to show up and pay my bills. If I lose my job tomorrow, ain't none of these politicians who are who are telling me I have to vote, who are telling me to disrupt my life to support them, none of them are going to disrupt their lives to support me. Right? I said, man, you know what? Bill Clinton can get himself in office. I got to get to my job. I got to vote myself president of my life right now and handle my business as a sovereign entity and make sure I get this rent paid. Because if I don't, I'm gonna be stuck out here in the street with no opportunities and no money. And that's what it was. It was that basic. It was me saying, does this person really care about my interest first, or do they care about their own interest first? And if they don't put my interest first, then why should I put their interest first? So what I'm saying to you is this: look, I'm not here to tell you how to vote and all this other crazy stuff. This ain't what the conversation is about. I'm here to explain to you that the stimulus checks are not coming because your politicians are selfish. The stimulus checks are not coming because your politicians are not thinking about you. The stimulus checks are not coming because your politicians are too busy taking care of their own agenda that they don't have time to support your agenda. The Republicans, here's what the Republicans are doing with the stimulus money. The Republicans are hooking up all their homies. The Republicans are putting the same way I tell you guys to have a B1 philosophy. Well, the Republicans got a me one, like me one, me and my homies, or a re one, Republicans first. So you know what the Republicans are doing with the stimulus? They're calling up their corporate friends who have billions of dollars in the bank already, who are going to on vacation in Martha's Vineyard, who are flying, who are spending the pandemic, at their summer home in Vail, Colorado, and they're basically writing gigantic checks to these people, and they're using the guys, they're using black people and poor people and working class people as a human economic shield. They're using you as a human shield because they're saying, no, we need this money because we're the job creators. We're the job creators. That's what we're not a bunch of rich people who put money in our bank accounts first before anybody else. We're the job creators of America. We're not sitting on massive corporate bonuses every year. We're job creators. We're not making money when the stock price inflates because our company just got a $10 billion injection of capital. We're the job creators. So you got to take care of us. We're the job creators. That was what they refer to as trickle down economics. And I have a PhD in finance, and I can tell you trickle down economics does not work. Trickle down economics does not work because human beings don't give money away when they have money for themselves. When wealthy people get capital, they don't trickle anything down. That's why they're rich. They're rich because when they get a dollar, they keep the dollar. People stay broke because when they get a dollar, they give the dollar away. Money trickles up. Money don't trickle down. Money trickles from the hands of the poor into the hands of the rich. It does not trickle from the rich to the poor because the rich people got rich by giving their money away. Poor people, some of them, not all of them, but some of them got poor or stay poor because you get that money, you run to the liquor store, you run to the grocery store, you run to, Air Jordans has a sale, you go buy the Jordans. Black Disney puts out Black Panther 2. You and your family are there, taking Instagram selfies with your Wakanda outfit on. Like you will spend $100 at night taking your girl and the kids to see Black Panther, and then you're gonna take them all to Red Lobster and get the cheddar biscuits. That money's trickling up. That money ain't trickling down. So Republicans have screwed America because They spent trillions of dollars and gave it to the wrong people. A more adequate approach would have been to find people who need the money and help out those people. A more adequate approach would be to take care of small businesses before you take care of major corporations. But the Democrats have screwed you too. The Democrats have screwed you with fear. I don't know what their love affair is with this socialist, communist utopia that they have in their minds. I don't know what's going on in their brains, but you can't tell me that there isn't an agenda to say let's shut everything down and destroy this country and burn it down so that people will get other politicians out of office and we can take over in power. You can't tell me that their goal wasn't to say let's keep people as afraid as possible, because people in fear hand over authority over their lives. People in fear will let us do whatever we want. People in fear will wait for us to give them orders on how to proceed. We will tell them to stay inside when it's time to spend time with your family or to go to church, but we want you to come outside when it's time to protest in the street and scream Black Lives Matter along with a bunch of Antifa activists. Right? How are you going to tell me that I need to stay inside when I want to go see my family for Thanksgiving or go to church with my pastor, but you telling me to come outside when it's time to have a protest where I'm supporting your interests? That don't even make no sense. That makes no sense at all. And the other thing too is, as they tell these small businesses to shut down, they too have their pockets filled by the corporations. That's your problem. The corporations and the capitalists are running the country, and they're running it on both sides of the aisle. They're putting money in the pockets of the Democrats and the Republicans. The thing about the corporate capitalists is that you got some corporate capitalists who are conservative, some corporate capitalists who are liberal. But either way, they know that at the end of the day, their dollar bills are controlling your politics. So if I'm a corporate capitalist and I happen to be liberal because maybe I believe I'm not liberal because I care about black people. Nobody care about no black people. Get that out of your damn head. I'm liberal because I believe in climate change. Or I'm liberal because I want me and my boyfriend to have the same ability to get married, I want transgender kids to use the bathroom with the boys or the girls, or I want immigrants to be able to come in whenever they want to, right? That's why I'm liberal. I ain't liberal because I care about black people. I ain't even said the word reparations once. Right? But maybe I'm liberal, so I understand how politics works in America, right? You got white people that understand powernomics better than black people do. They understand powernomics better than you do. So they know in powernomics that money drives politics on every side of the aisle. Money drives politics for Democrats. Money drives politics for Republicans. So what I do as a corporate capitalist who believes in climate change and LGBT and immigration and all this other stuff, I'm going to put money in the pockets of people like Gory Leadfoot, or AKA Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago. I'm going to put money in the pockets of the left-wing politicians who are going to help me pursue my socialist agenda by basically saying that the number one goal of America right now is to make sure Donald Trump's out of office, even if we have to destroy everybody's lives in the process. And I'm going to get you to shut everything down so that people can quote unquote be safe. So I'm giving orders from my mansion. I'm sitting there with my kids next to the pool, and we down in Florida because we wanted to take a vacation during the pandemic because it's just so stressful to have to deal with the pandemic in my other mansion in Silicon Valley, right? And I'm giving these orders, and I'm saying keep it all shut down, keep people in fear. We have cover too. The same way the Republicans use working class people as cover for their filth and their greed and their corporate welfare. Like, we're creating jobs, so that's why you have to give us all the money. Well, the liberals, their cover is we want to keep you safe. We want to keep you safe. We know what's best for you. We're the smart ones. We went to Brown University and Yale and Stanford, where they indoctrinated us into a liberal ideology that led us to believe that we should sit and sip our lattes in Starbucks and convince ourselves, massage each other's asses, and convince ourselves that we are smarter than regular people. That I know what's best for you and your family more than you know. That I want to raise your kids through the school system. I want your kids coming home reciting whatever liberal ideology that we've indoctrinated them with that day. It doesn't matter. To hell with your values. I don't care what you learn from your pastor about the Bible. I don't care what you want your family values to be. I want your family values to be the family values that I want you to have. I'm going to market. I'm going to spend billions of dollars marketing Black Lives Matter so much that you're going to really think that that's for you, when really that's really my white liberal LGBT ideology being snuck into your life like a damn Trojan horse. Like, that is a Trojan horse. Now your favorite basketball players, LeBron and everybody else, are running up and down the court with Black Lives Matter on their shirt, and you think it's cool when really you're like the damn roaches that they convinced to eat the rat poison, or to eat the poison, and then all the roaches and the whole family die. I put this on my Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. If you want to follow me on Instagram, just be ready, because I ain't got time to be playing with you. I'm going to tell you the truth. So I'm probably going to hurt your feelings at some point. But if you're ready for that, my Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. And I put up on my Instagram, I put this commercial. I saw a commercial where they had these mice, and these mice were sitting there, and the mice were in the kitchen eating, and one mouse was like talking to the other one. She's like, "Oh my God, Gloria, this recipe is so delicious. I've just got to find out where you got this delicious food." And all the whole family sitting there eating, and they're all enjoying the food like soul food. Like, imagine a Big Mama's house and everybody's having dinner. And she's like, "Oh, everybody thinks I cooked it myself, but really it's decon." And then all of a sudden, all the mice start dropping dead. And then it's a commercial for decon. And at the end, they say, "Decon, mice love it to death." Right? And basically, what are they saying? They're saying that the mice, the way we kill the mice is with a Trojan horse. We give them decon. It looks like soul food. It looks like the hog mugs or collard greens and and chitlins and Popeye's chicken, right? And they love it. They love it. They'll go out and promote it. They'll do videos talking about how much they love that Popeye's chicken sandwich, and then they all drop dead. It is a Trojan horse. They all drop dead because we taught them to love the thing that they should hate. We taught them to love the things that will kill them. We taught them to celebrate their own genocide. We don't have to fight the mice. The mice are stupid. We just got to put some food in. We put some poison in front of them and make sure the poison tastes good, and they're going to eat it all day. They're going to beg us for the poison. So when it comes to politics and economics, education, and everything else, many of our people are begging for the poison. We beg for the poison. We run around screaming, "Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter," without realizing that the first thing that Black Lives Matter put on their website was, "Our goal is to destroy the nuclear family." If you care about your community, and you know your community needs families, why would you run around promoting an organization that said on its site that their first objective is to disrupt and to destroy the nuclear family? Are you Are you killing him? Are you kidding me? What is going on here? So here's the deal. Let me bring this full circle. What I'm explaining to you is this: America is run by the corporate capitalists. Some of those corporate capitalists are conservatives. If I'm a conservative corporate capitalist, then at the end of the day, I'm trying to make sure me and my family are good. Again, I tell you guys to have a B1 philosophy. Their philosophy is me one. Or the corporate capitalist, it's re-one, Republican, right? Like, we take care of ourselves first. We take care of each other first. We take care of our homies first. That's it. So I call up Mitch McConnell and I say, let's pass a stimulus package. But we can take care of poor people. Ain't no wrong with helping that poor people. Ain't no wrong with helping out small businesses. But we eat first. Everybody can eat, but we eat first. And capitalism is a very greedy ideology. Capitalism it's not communal. It's like, we eat first, and I'm gonna eat until I'm so full that I can't take another bite. And then when I eat to the point where I can't take another bite, then I say, okay, all right, pass the chicken down the table. So basically, they call their Republican friends and say, let's pass a stimulus. You can help anybody in America, but you help them after you help me. So you write that $10 billion check to the airlines, or you write that $5 billion check to my auto industry, or whatever it is, right? Make sure my business is good. Make sure our coffers are full. We get to take the money off the top. Make sure that we get our executive bonuses for that year. I want to make sure my stocks get a little bit of a boost. That's why the stock market has taken off, and the rest of the economy has fallen straight to hell, right? Because Republicans and their friends they have falsely been led to believe, or better yet, they falsely believe, or they believe because based on their own incentives, that the stock market is an indicator of how well the economy is doing. And if you've been following the stock market, you'll notice the stock market has been on absolute fire, which is one of the reasons why I've told you that as a B1 philosophy and a me1 philosophy, you got to take care of you and yours. Get your butt in the stock market. Those little extra coins you got, put that money in the market. So that way, when rich people get richer, you'll get richer too. So if I'm a corporate capitalist who's a liberal, I do the same thing as the Republicans. The only difference is that instead of using my job creator status as a human shield, the liberals use they play the whole we're keeping you safe card as their human shield. So we pull our whole agenda through. We're doing whatever we want. We're shutting down small businesses, giving money to corporate capitalists, giving money to the top. We're not really taking care of the poor. We're not really taking care of small businesses. We don't really care about that. All we care about is whether or not Billy and Cindy, the transgender kids, can use the same bathroom as everybody else, or that gay people can get married, or that immigrants can get across the border, or that climate change is going to be addressed. All those issues might be fine and relevant to you. That's fine. But I'm telling you that at no point in their decision-making process is the well-being of you or your family anywhere on the agenda. Nowhere in their pursuit, their relentless, aggressive pursuit of their own ideology, nowhere in that is the Black community relevant at all. The Black community only becomes relevant to the extent that they can use you through organizations like Black Lives Matter and use the trauma of one celebrated police shooting, which isn't going to change anything, right? One police shooting where they use the trauma of that as an avenue through which to get you on board to make you the Black wing of the Democratic Party, which therefore allows them to pursue their bigger agenda of this socialist communist utopia they believe is going to be established once all the jobs are gone and everybody's dependent on the government and everybody's afraid of dying, so they do exactly what the government says. And then all next thing you know, the government says, well, I know that you're dying, I know that you're afraid, I know that you're broke, I know you can't feed your family, but we'll send you this welfare check as long as you make sure you don't have a husband in the house, as long as your family's disrupted, we'll send you that check. Or as long as your children are educated on what it means to what it means for a boy to at 9 years old to think he wants to be a girl, then we'll send you that check. Or as long as you take this vaccine with a bunch of shit in it where we haven't even told you what's in it, as long as you take this vaccine, we're going to give you that check, right? It's all about basically shutting down your options so that you have no other options left. When an abusive man, one pattern of abusers, I'm marrying a woman who is a counselor who counsels couples, and she breaks down all these theories. She's a very serious relationship therapist. She's a full professor of social work and an expert on relationships and couples and psychology in a lot of different important areas. She's not just a Black woman with a PhD, which puts her in the top 1% of the top 1%, but she is actually one of the best PhDs in the country in her field because she's good at what she does. One of the things that she's told me, or we've talked about in terms of abusive relationships, is that with abusers, there's a pattern. There are certain patterns you can identify in abusive relationships where the ultimate goal is to obtain power and control. That's the goal. If you look at the behavior of an abusive man, it's not uncommon that man will isolate as one of many things he does to establish control. He will isolate that woman from her base of support. He will say, "Hey, babe, let's move. I love you so much. Let's move to Alaska. There's good jobs over there on the pipeline, and I want to go out to Alaska." And she said, "Well, wait a minute. I live in Detroit. All my family's in Detroit. I don't have any support in Alaska. I don't know anybody out there." "Well, it's okay, babe. You got me. You got me." And then she said, "Well, I don't think I want to go." Well, you must not really love me. You ain't serious about this relationship. Oh, okay. I'll go with you to Alaska, right? So they go to Alaska, and she's got the kids, and she ain't got no babysitters. She has nobody to talk to. She has no support. And then she starts to see behavior from him that's a problem, right? She'll see abusive behavior, controlling behavior, things designed to intimidate her and keep her in fear. So he's done a couple of things. He's isolated her and he's kept her in fear. Well, that ultimately allows him to have control over that relationship because now you stuck. You ain't got nowhere to go. You ain't got nobody to call if I screw you over, if I do something terrible to you. You can't pay your own bills. And then on top of that, another thing that he did is he told her when they moved to Alaska, babe, I'm gonna make enough money for both of us. I want to take care of you. I love you. But I like my job. I'm an accountant. I'm good at my job. No, but I want you to stay home because I love you so much. So then he convinced her to quit her job. So then she has no economic support, right? So ultimately, now you're living in Alaska. She has no emotional support. She has no other economic options. So when he becomes abusive, she can't leave because she can't even pay the bills. And also, she's living in constant fear. Well, that gives her control. That's the abuser's playbook. That could be in a handbook called Pimpin' 101. And what the government has basically done. What again, maybe you can define how much you want to believe that this was planned or not. I don't really care what you think. I don't care. You can debate that later. But look at what they've done. They have killed your ability to take care of yourself. That no jobs, businesses shut down, stay in your house and wait for further orders. You can go 3 months without eating. You can go 3 months without paying the rent. You can go 3 months without having any income. Sure, right? You can go 3 months with social isolation. They've isolated you from your friends and family. They have also kept you in constant fear. And then what do you give them in exchange? You give them control. You give them power. You give them the ability to literally give you orders and instructions, and you will do exactly what you're told. I have a couple of relatives. I have a great social experiment in my family. I got one relative who watches Fox News on repeat, and another relative who watches MSNBC on repeat. And with each of those people, I can always tell in the first 3 minutes of talking to them what brainwashing they've been exposed to that week. I kid you not. I can literally tell instantly because the person who watches Fox News on repeat literally recites every Republican right wing conspiracy theory known to man, and it's mind boggling how much she will literally recite what Sean Hannity just said, but then swear up and down that these are her own ideas, that nobody told her what to think. And then the person that watches MSNBC on repeat is in constant fear. She has lived in her house without seeing her kids or grandkids for 7 months. She's afraid to go to the grocery store. She thinks that anytime you walk out of your house, that it is a death wish. She literally thinks you're going to die if you go down the street and uh, go get a carton of milk. Like it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it doesn't matter if I say, well, you know that 99.9% of us are gonna survive. Those are pretty good survival odds. The only thing better than 99.9% might be something like, I don't know, 100% survival. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you confront a mentally ill person or you confront somebody who is in constant fear with facts and data and information, they get mad at you because they think you're being insensitive because you're not as afraid as they are. People will literally get offended because you're not in fear. Well, you know what? Get offended if you want to. Get offended. I see it in the chat all the time because Negroes scare easily. Black people stay scared. That's how they control you. They'd have had you scared since you got off the plantation. You've been bug eyed since then. Some of y'all, and it's okay. It's okay. Be 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 as scared as you want. Get as mad as you want. But the facts are still the facts. And at the end of the day, the people that are going to survive and come out of this situation okay are the ones who choose not to live in fear. They simply protect themselves and they keep it moving. They say, yeah, these government people, they're going to do what they want to do. They believe what they want to believe. But I've done some research on this and I've talked to enough people about this where I believe that in my family, in my household, we're going to go in a different direction. And I think that ideology should apply to everything, not just what you do economically, but also what you do in terms of how you run your family and how you educate your kids. Because believe me, they have a plan, they have an agenda. The Democrat and Republican parties were able to establish power over better political parties, parties with better ideologies, because they had an agenda and it was fueled by money. Goes back to money, goes back to economics. So if you want a black agenda to be pursued, you must ensure that you focus on the money. It's always about the money. Don't ever let anybody tell you any different. It is always about the money. Even the people that claim that money is evil and corporations are evil. No, no, no. It's about the money. So anyway, that's it, guys. I hope that this helps you. I hope this makes sense. It was on my brain today, so I shared it. I'm going to get out of here. By the way, the blackbosschannel.com, that's a platform we have for black men, where black men do commentary on all different kinds of issues. I hope that you will subscribe to the Black Boss channel. This is an invitation for the men and the women, for either men who want to hear what other brothers have to say, or women who want to hear what black men have to say. They talk about relationships, they talk about sports, they talk about politics, they talk about economics, they talk about health. And I believe the black man will rise. The black man should rise and stand next to strong black women as leaders of the community. Like, I really see our community as its own government. We are sovereign in every way possible. And I believe that we have the ability to pursue our black agenda without ever, my God, it is incredibly insulting to me to even think I got to go to some old crusty old Klansman like Joe Biden and beg this crusty Klansman who locked up black men for a living, built his whole career locking up black men, and ask him for permission to move forward. I cannot do that as a man. In fact, I'd rather be dead than to have to go massage an old crusty white man's balls in order for my community to have something. That is dehumanizing. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. I refuse to accept it. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys gained something from this conversation, even if you didn't agree. I hope you'll also hit the thumbs up button right now. Some thumbs up, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. And by the way, if you want to take a look at some economic stuff, you can go to theblackbusinessschool.com. We're here for the community. We have about 140,000 students worldwide who literally pay pennies on the dollar to learn from leading economic scientists and experts on all things economic, from starting businesses to real estate to stock market investing, all kinds of stuff. So feel free to talk to one of our specialists. We have specialists on the line almost all day long who can talk to you through whatever your economic goals are. So feel free to reach out to theblackbusinessschool.com. The URL is right there on the screen. There's a specialist waiting right there to talk to you now. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. Peace.